The CI-19, a weapon that you might have seen around the battlefield a lot. It is currently only available to the Assault class and is probably one of the best ARs in the game right now. And in today's video, I'm going to share my weapon build for the CI-19. The CI-19 itself is actually great right out of the box. You can perform absolutely fantastic with this weapon, as the recoil pattern is probably one of the easier ones to control in Delta Force. So if you look at the control right here, you can see it goes up and to the right a little bit, but we can actually correct a lot of this with the attachments. So let's get right into it. For the barrel, I chose to go with the new Leviathan Tactical Long Barrel, one of the main reasons being that you get a lot of new attachment slots, so you get 3 more patch slots, allowing you to put more handguards on the weapon. So go ahead and install that, and then I calibrated this to the tune of plus 50 grams for plus 4% firing stability, and then I reduced the length by 10 millimeters because the muzzle velocity of this weapon is so high that we can actually lose 9% muzzle velocity. It's not going to make that big of a difference, but we get plus 3% ADS speed. Now, the CI-19 is actually kind of special because you can swap out the gas block for something else. So you have 2 choices here, the new stabilizing gas block or the new high-speed gas block. So the high-speed gas block actually increases your fire rate, but reduces your range and muzzle velocity. So you'd pretty much want to use this if you're solely using this weapon for CQB, and I actually have a CQB build for the CI-19, which looks absolutely ridiculous, but it works like a charm. But for this build, I chose to go with the new stabilizing gas block that increases your range and muzzle velocity, increases your control, increases your handling stability at the cost of a little bit of fire rate, so reducing your fire rate from 709 to 660 RPM. For the muzzle, I chose to go with the Bastion horizontal compensator. Now, I kind of feel like this is a recurring attachment on most of my builds, but having that increased horizontal firing camera stability and increased horizontal firing stability is just so good that honestly, this attachment, and same thing for the Sandstorm vertical compensator, I think are going to be a recurring attachment on most of the weapon guides you'll find out there. And it's kind of unfortunate because all of these other muzzle attachments just fall by the wayside because they're not as interesting, or they just don't offer what these 2 attachments offer in terms of firing camera stability. So that's why I went and chose that one. For the foregrip, I chose to go with the Resonant Ergonomic Foregrip. So this one increases your vertical firing camera stability and also vertical firing stability, as well as giving you increased control. So go ahead and install that. And then for the calibration, I increased the weight limit by plus 20 grams, giving you plus 4% extra control at the cost of a little bit of ADS speed, which we mostly made up for by adjusting the barrel length. For the mag, really not complicated. You have one choice. Had there been an option for the 45 round mag or something of the sorts, I might have opted for that to get less penalties, but in this case, 60 rounds is far superior to 30, so I'm just going to go ahead and equip that. For the rear grip, I chose to go with the new type Vanguard Light Grip, so giving you increased control, increased handling at the cost of a little bit of stability, but we can make up for that a little bit later. So install that, and then calibrate this to the tune of plus 50 grams, giving you plus 6% extra control at the cost of a little bit of aiming stability while breathing, but we can make up for that as well. So for the stock, I chose to go with the Skeleton Sniper stock. So this costs you a little bit of control, gives you a lot of handling, a lot of stability, and reduces your accuracy by quite a bit, but honestly, accuracy is mostly for hipfire. If you have a laser on your weapon and you're firing in CQB, chances are you're still going to hit your shots. It's not going to go all over the place unless you're trying to use hipfire at ranges that it shouldn't be used at. So this stock is awesome for those reasons, of course, at the penalty of accuracy. So go ahead and install that, and then we're going to calibrate this to the tune of plus 50 grams, so for the plus 6% extra control, and we're also going to increase the cheek pad placement for plus 16% aiming stability while breathing. So overall, we're still a little bit in the hole for aiming stability while breathing, but it's still going to perform absolutely fantastic. As for the optic, I chose to go with a riser on this weapon for the simple fact that every single attachment you can put on the barrel, so on all the rails, you can put a handguard on there, and we want those handguards for all of the stats that they offer. So put the riser on here, then I chose to go with the Mini RDS, and then I calibrated this with plus 0.25. I actually reduced the pupil distance by 20 millimeters. So what this does, as far as I know, is it makes the sight closer to your actual camera, so your first person perspective, so that you see more of what's inside the actual sight. So I hope I explained myself correctly here. It's very minor. You can't really tell when you're in the midst of the action, but overall, I think it helps a little bit. As for the tactical device, I chose to go with the Pursed 7 blue light laser combo. You can go with any of these. I just like the aesthetic of the blue with the orange. So having the laser light combo active, so increases your handling, increases your accuracy, and also allows for tactical holding stance, which is actually the fastest way to ADS. If you ADS while having your weapon in the tactical holding stance, and then you swap to your actual main optic, it's still faster than actually ADSing with your main optic. So if you really want to min-max the performance of your weapons, that's how you would do it. Honestly, is it worth it? Probably not. So slap that on there, anyone will do. And then finally, for all of these 6 attachments that you can put handguards on, I chose to go with 2 KC handguards to get a little bit of that stability back. So I'm going to put the 2 on the top here to make it look a little bit aesthetic. And then the rest of them, we're going to go with Ranger handguards to increase the control further. So slap 4 of those on there. And there you go, that is my CI-19 weapon build. The share code will be in the description down below, as well as in the top pinned comment. And if we look at the actual control or recoil pattern of this weapon, you can see it's going up and to the right, but it is so easy to control. It just, even at range, you can just beam people from across the map. And that increase in stability makes it so it's not so jumpy when you're actually firing. And holding your breath is going to make a world of difference in this case. To actually be able to use this specific weapon loadout, you have to have the CI-19 leveled up to 50 for the drum mag, or level 47 for the Bastion horizontal compensator. But that is my weapon build. I've been using it pretty much exclusively for the past, I don't know, since before the weekend, honestly. I got the kills to unlock the cool orange skin for it. I've just been having a blast. It performs really well in CQB. You can beam people at decent ranges with it, especially when you're holding your breath. It's such a fun weapon to use, and I now understand why so many people are actually running this as assaults. Honestly, the M4A1 is a great weapon, but I just feel like in every single first-person shooter, the M4 is always like the meta weapon, so it's nice to have a weapon that performs, you know, on the same level as the M4A1, if not a little bit better due to how much damage it does per shot. So the CI-19 is doing 26 damage per shot, as opposed to the M4 that does 20 damage per shot. Of course, you get that higher fire rate with the M4A1, but 26 damage per shot with a 660 RPM, or 709 RPM if you choose to not swap out the gas block for the stabilizing gas block, or 759 RPM if you go with the high speed gas block. But with all that being said, I'll stop rambling. If you haven't tried the CI-19 yet, do so. It is fantastic, and I'll leave you with a few minutes of gameplay with this weapon, not necessarily with this specific build that I showcased in today's video. I was testing out a few different things along the way. But before closing out the video, if you would like to suggest a weapon for an upcoming build video, leave it in the comment section down below. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Folks coming in from 8.
We can't break out!